Hi, welcome to the first episode of Here We Grow Again. I'm glad you're here, and I'm excited to share this journey with you. My journey into the mental health world has been paved by a lot of profound experiences that haven't always been easy to share. They've deepened my understanding of the human psyche and strengthening the understanding of who I am. After navigating a challenging mental health break with those close to me, I found myself evaluating the intricate balance between my spirituality and my mental well being. This experience made me view my place in the world and in my church with a new passion and commitment to help women find and unlock the healing potential of mental health. Men, that doesn't mean, if you are listening, that I can't help you or that you can't glean from this, just that I'm a woman and I have gone through things that I know women can relate to. But feel free to stick around and join us. Over the last few months, I've emerged from the shadows of my own mental health struggles, and I've realized that my calling is to serve as a mental health advocate, bridging the gap between faith and psychological well being. My aspiration to become a mental health counselor reflects not only my enduring faith, but also my dedication to guiding others towards the heartfelt journey and joy that can be found within both religion and mental wellness. You can get help. You deserve to take the time to get the help you need. You may ask yourself, am I abnormal if I need to see a counselor? No, you are not. Every one of us needs someone to talk to. Many times, well meaning Christians have cautioned me on seeing a counselor. I even was openly rebuked by a member of the congregation that my husband and I pastor. And many other well meaning Christians have cautioned me. But there have been some Christians who have praised my efforts to see a counselor. They're amongst the few. But we all need someone to talk to. Licensed counselors are in everyone's community. If you need help finding one, reach out to me. I would love to help you find and start that journey. I wish desperately that I would have seen a counselor many, many years before I did. The experiences I have faced in my life leading to the anxiety, depression, PTSD, trauma, they've all impacted how I am and have dealt with people, relationships, jobs, really every aspect of how I function. None of us are without some type of adversity. Everything from our life shapes us. Counseling does not teach you how to avoid adversity, rather, how to handle the thoughts, emotions, and pain and still live a fulfilled life. I often feel as Christians, we feel the need to negate the idea of loving ourselves. How can we love ourselves when God is to be first? We're to love Him above all else. Do you know that you can love yourself and love God? God designed you to be in an intimate and loving relationship with Him. Why would He want His own creation to loathe themselves? I don't know about you, but I've dealt with self-loathing, feeling like I wasn't good enough. How can anybody else love me? If anybody else can't love me, if everybody else can't love me, then how can God love me? It's important to love ourselves. Loving ourselves doesn't mean we're narcissistic. Loving ourselves doesn't mean that we put us above everybody else's needs. And if any of you are moms like I am, then you know we always put the needs of our kids before ourselves. But we need to learn who we are, why we are, and that we are enough who we are. Life hands us so many experiences across the lifespan, from sadness to immense joy. Life will constantly leave us with growing pains. You know, my kids have had growing pains since, well, they were little. I have 4 children ranging from age from 4 to 11, and we're still suffering growing pains quite a bit, where they rub their legs and, they ask I'll use some essential oils on their legs, or they'll ask for a hot bath. growing pains start when we're little, and the growing pains change a little as we age based on our experiences. So, based on all the experiences I've had, and a lot of them came to a head this year, I realized when wanting to start and feeling called to start this podcast that Here We Grow Again was the ideal name because we are constantly growing. We're going to have growing pains for the rest of our lives. Learning how we handle those pains is one of the biggest parts of growing. You know, I've listened to a lot of self-help books and I go to counseling weekly. And one of the major themes is you don't want to be almost 80 years old, 90 years old, just starting to fix your problems. Go talk about those things, work through them. It's hard. You know, the woman who rebuked me for going to counseling said, "Well, I've tried it. It just made me bitter." I could see how she felt that way because you have to dig up some of that subconscious material, some of that stuff that's just been so buried beneath the conscious level for so long, and it hurts. We deal with those things, we move on, but to heal from them, you have to deal with them. And they can cause some bitterness, but you have the opportunity to decide whether we're going to grow or whether we're going to allow that bitterness to take root and just wither up and die. I'm stubborn enough to continually choose growth. You know, one of the main concepts in counseling is that growth is not linear. You're going to move a little forward and then you're going to go a few steps back. And I've experienced that. But such is life. You don't start out running a race, just sprinting from the get-go. You pace yourself. You face one obstacle at a time. And there's weeks where I think, oh, I've got it all figured out. And then other weeks I leave and go, wow, that's a lot to process. But the process is what forms us. It's what makes us who we are. We don't have to live in that past trauma and pain any longer. I almost let that pain and trauma take me this year. And that's something we'll get into in a further episode. But I want to encourage you, you don't have to live in that past any longer. Find help, find a counselor. It's important. So here we grow again. Join me on this journey as we explore growing, healing, and loving ourselves enough to make the effort. You are enough. You are worthy enough. And I hope that you can find it deep within yourself to look in the mirror and say, I love you. I love who I am looking back at. I know that's hard. I've had so many years of hating who I looked at in the mirror. It didn't matter how many people told me that they loved me. It didn't matter how many accomplishments I had. It didn't matter if I had straight A's or won all the medals and did all the things. I still didn't feel worthy enough. That worth and that love has to start within us. Know that you are loved and that God created you for love. He created you for a purpose, and you are going to be okay. I pray that you would see that in yourself and that you would join me weekly for a new episode as we work together to overcome some of these challenges in life. And we learn in all these moments that make us question why? Why now? Why do we have to grow again? I pray that you'll be able to embrace that journey, that you'll be able to grow and love for yourself, and then through that for others around you. I'm looking forward to talking to you again soon. Join us next week for another episode, and you can find us on all your favorite platforms for podcasts. Have a blessed day.